Jordan Kazlow joined John Lewis' 2008 congressional campaign at 17, before she was old enough to cast a ballot. That gave her something in common with her boss, who began his work toward becoming a civil rights icon around the same age. It was really meaningful to talk to him about him fighting for the vote before he was even old enough to vote, said Kazlow, 29, a lawyer in Dallas. But that kind of commitment was inspiring. And the whole experience showed how important it was to him to get young people involved. His entire staff was under 25, and most between 16 and 20 years old. For all the achievements of his 67 years of service, Lewis' commitment to inspiring the next generation of leaders and activists may be his most significant and lasting contribution. As an activist fighting for racial equality, Lewis, at 23, was the youngest speaker at the 1963 March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. 2 years later, he put his body on the line for voting rights on Bloody Sunday, on the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama, thinking he might be killed at 25. Even before his work on the national stage, Lewis was a young preacher in his teens, and he led other students in anti-segregation work. But as he grew into an elder statesman of the civil rights movement, Lewis actively looked to young people, like Kazlow and others who worked in his office, to continue his work. "We are the legacy of Congressman Lewis," said Rachelle O'Neil, who joined Lewis' staff as a constituent services representative when she was 32 and worked with him for 18 years. He was committed to young people. The beautiful thing is that he started as a teenager. He believed in the young stepping up, taking action, making noise, fighting for what's right, that they have a moral responsibility to take stock in what their future is like. There are hundreds of us around the country who have been impacted by him. As the nation mourns Lewis' death from pancreatic cancer this month at age 80, with services throughout his home state of Alabama, as well as in Georgia, which he served in Congress since 1987, and in Washington, D.C., his countless protégés take it all in with admiration and gratitude. With Congressman Lewis, young people of all ages could come and work at the feet of a civil rights icon, O'Neil said. At Lewis' 65th birthday party, Harry Belafonte said they did not do enough to pass the baton to younger people to carry on the work. Congressman Lewis heard that and increased his efforts. You'd see him in May speaking at colleges and talking to students at schools, trying to bridge the gap from the civil rights movement to today's generation. He loved young people. Jamesia James, 37, is running in a special election for a U.S. Senate seat in Georgia. She said her campaign was directly influenced by her 2 years working on Lewis' staff. "I was inspired by his dedication to people," James said. "I wasn't aware politicians could be so committed.